Some will try to stop you, but you keep stepping up, you keep stepping up, you keep trying, 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 trying.
Okay, so this is my third interview in my interview series where I'm trying to inspire people to be more healthier physically, mentally, spiritually. And the first two interviews are more, I guess, spiritually.
Yeah.
So this is more maybe fitness, but we'll discuss, see how things go. Before I introduce my guest, I just want to take a shout out to my sponsor, because as well as the interview series, I'm also doing a daily ice bath to support mental health, and I have a sponsor to help me purchase the ice, because obviously if I do this for a whole year, ice is going to be expensive. So it's buy me in the link. It's going to be buymeacoffee.com/BBioStrong, and what that does is just give me some ice, like I said. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to Hady. He's from Egypt. He moved to Newfoundland to go to university, and he's into kickboxing, mixed martial arts, Muay Thai. And funny thing is, I met him at an ice dip this year, and my daughter said, "How can we look in better shape than you?" I said, "Well, he's 24 years younger than me, and he's into kickboxing." So, go ahead, just start out with your story. Start out with your story. It'd be great.
Yeah, so hello guys, my name is Hady. I'm 25 years old. I'm from Egypt. I came here in 2017, and honestly, ever since I've been here, it's just been nothing but love and appreciation and acceptance from people here of Newfoundland. I've never had very few bad experience, but very tiny few. But everything else is amazing. I really like it, love it here. I'm so grateful to spend each and every day here with you guys. I have been into martial arts in general for the past almost 9, 10 years. I started training back home in Egypt. I started training actually with Khabib's cousin. If you know Khabib Nurmagomedov, he's like one of the top level fighters in the world. I started training with his cousins when I was back in Egypt before he was, a champion. And yeah, I just the whole reason I started was, because I was overweight and I was like bullied and stuff in school. So I decided, enough is enough, and I wanted to pick up for myself, and I wanted to look good. I want to feel good. So I started training, started pushing myself, and here I am now, 10 years later, couple of nationals competitions later and stuff. Um, I Since I came here in 2017, I've been to 4 national competitions. I got 5 national medals for this beautiful province, 3 silver and 2 gold in kickboxing and Muay Thai. I've also competed regionally in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. And yeah, I'm just like love doing what I'm doing. I wake up every day with passion and can't wait, to train. I teach people now. I'm trying to spread the art, and that's what I'm trying to do for a living. So, um, life is good. Can't be happier. Doing what I love every day. I can't complain. Like I'm very grateful. I'm very happy, and yeah, that's it.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. Like I know I've heard of Eight Limb. I've seen it. I've never been there. I'd like to at some point go into some kind of martial art. Right now, probably I'm not. Maybe in the new year, because I'm just pretty busy now with everything. But
Probably fair enough.
I wanted to.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'd like to take care of myself a bit better. I don't.
100%. 8 Lane and Rock Athletics, these are the 2 places that I go to that I know for a fact that everyone is there, is like the energy is so vibrant, is so positive, is so welcoming and inviting. Um, and I train with, in both gyms, and I competed with both gyms before, and, they're both amazing. Coach Kuya James and Coach Robbie, they're both amazing people, and they've helped me so much. And as I told you before we started, like when I first came here, I went to 8 Lamb, and I was just, I wasn't like very, very, very talented or anything like that, but crew like seen something in me, and he told me, like, I told him, like, I want to train and I want to compete and stuff, and I want to win something, and I want to have a medal on my chest. And he told me, like, I'll just come training and stuff, and he took care of me, and he's an amazing person. And same thing for Robbie. When I went to coach Robbie in Rock Athletics, same thing, like they fundraised for me to go to nationals and stuff. So ever since, as I told you, been here, it's just been nothing but love and acceptance, and just a very welcoming environment, to be honest with you. So I'm very happy and grateful to be here with you guys.
Yeah, so like I guess you also do the cold water therapy sometimes as well, or
Yeah, I do. I do the cold water therapy. I got into it only last year, as a means of strengthening my mind, being stronger. People think, like, for me, like, I don't know about people, but for me, every time I go quite often, but every time I go, people think because I go so much that I don't actually feel it anymore, or actually like really love it and enjoy it. I do really love it and enjoy it, but it's a mental victory. Every time I go there, I have that anxiety and I have that voice telling me, like making excuses, or not, don't do that or do this, or like go back. And I have, every single time, I have to fight my mind. I have to fight myself and to overcome that voice and go for it. And then after I do that, I feel awesome, I feel great. So it doesn't get easier, but it definitely helps my mentality. It makes me stronger every time. And I could see how that really affected me in the training, when I'm about to, like, when I'm about to give up, or when I'm getting tired or whatever. I'll say, like, I've been through worse. I've been through the freezing cold water, and I can't control myself, and I can't control my breathing. So if I can do it there, I can do it here too. So it translated to everything into my life, not only training, but also everything else in life. Because when you're in the freezing cold, like, you don't think about anything but survival, right? So it's kind of a very meditational in a sense that you only have one goal: survival and connection within your breath. So I can that translate to my life too, when I'm having an anxiety, or when I'm outside and there's like something on the go. I can always come back to my breathing. I can always come back to what always worked for me, like just calming myself down and stuff. So it's pretty amazing thing. I think it's a nature biohack, like you can rewrite the program in your mind, and delete old programs and install new ones, just by training your mind to do so, and to listen to training your body to listen to your mind, right? So that's why I basically do it. But it actually it definitely serves in every aspect of your life, and in training and in life in general.
yeah, like Brent Bashir before the end of before he's panned, he used to cut a hole in the ice, and he was able to sit at the end of the year this year. He was able to sit down for 30 minutes in the pan in the freezing cold. Like, oh, I don't mind doing the cold, but I don't know about 30 minutes.
No, 30
See,
minutes is a lot. And Brent is a different breed, different animal. I have actually met him a few weeks ago. We sat down in a coffee shop, and I told him I would love to get to know you. You're a beautiful man. And like we spoke, and he's actually a very, very wise man, and a very, very nice person. And I actually learned a lot from him, and he's an amazing person. And these are the kind of people that I look up to. These are the kind of people that no matter rain, shine, or anything, like you will see them doing their work every day. And it's very inspirational, like to see people like that. I think the province definitely needs people like that, like Brent and stuff in it, like doing the work every day, and waking up and living with a purpose, and with passion and stuff. So it's pretty nice to see people like that. And something that definitely helped me too, is when I surround myself with people like that. It's um, everything we do in our life kind of matters. The music we listen to, the videos we watch, everything subconsciously affects us, right? So if I'm on my Facebook all day and all I see is negativity and all that stuff, it definitely affects me, even if I don't feel like it affects me. If I listen to music and it's all about like killing and drugs and all that stuff, it's also gonna affect me, right? It's gonna change the way I think and stuff. So I try to watch people like that, like Brent. I try to watch people like, successful people, but not only like successful, but also very passionate people doing something because they love it and because like they're helping a lot of people and inspiring people.
Well, one of the main reasons I started this, well, I went through a hard time. I never seen my children for a long time, and I got them full time now. But I went through
Yes.
hell. I got my demons. I went through hell and back. But I uh, I watched a TV show or movie or documentary called, I think it was called The Minimalist. And I look back when I lived overseas. I was living out of a backpack and I was making half decent money over in England. But then I realized that I was living out of a backpack. I hardly had anything and I was happy. But the happiest time of my life was living in South Africa, making $800 a month. And I was setting up computers in really poor schools. And I love that. Just loved it.
Yeah, I think that too. I think the amount of money you make, as long as you are able to pay your bills and live a little bit comfortably, I think anything after that doesn't really affect your happiness curve at all. And it's also scientifically proven. So for me, as long as I feel fulfilled, as long as I wake up and I love what I do, I don't feel like it's work. I really enjoy it. I really enjoy teaching people. I really enjoy training, and I feel like every day I can't wait, to wake up for the second day to get my training in and to teach some people and stuff like that. So it definitely doesn't matter how much money you make if you're not happy. Like I got friends that they're working all time and they have like quads and this and boats and stuff, but they don't actually like use them because they don't have time because they're always working and stuff. So I mean, is it worth it to have that much money and to have like this and that? Like what is it gonna like? I don't know, like, but just for me, I guess I I value I value different stuff than most people, I guess. I don't know, but I feel I think if you live a fulfilling life and you're happy and you're passionate, doesn't really matter how much money you make or have.
No, for sure. I mean, I'd like to make a bit more money, but I don't care about being like Bill Gates or anything, obviously.
100%, 100%. All of us, like, that's why we work, that's why we grind and stuff like that. Like, big factor too is like, trying to provide better future for ourselves, for our families, but at the same time, we don't want to forget to live too, because just, like piling up money and stuff is it's not gonna be enjoyable when we don't have time or energy to spend it.
Yeah. So, like, how many days a week do you train with the kickboxing? And
I train 6 days a week. Today is my rest day, Saturday. I usually chill, take it easy. But I train 6 days a week. So I wake up, teach few people, a couple of my friends or whatever. And then I train myself, and then I come back, like have breakfast and stuff. And then I train again at the afternoon around the evening time, 5 or 6. So I try to get 2 training sessions a day. Um, for 6 days a week and one day off.
you're a beast.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. Yeah, that's basically my passion. That's what I live for. And if I tell you that I actually like before I used to do that and I didn't actually enjoy it until one of my friends actually gave me a new perspective on how I should look at things. And he said, I was telling him I'm so tired. Like, I work twice a day. I work out twice a day and this and like, and he said, Hattie, like, you should be grateful for being able to work out twice a day. Some people don't have the time, some people don't have the health or the energy, some people don't have the money to be able to work twice a day. So you should be grateful. And definitely COVID has also made me very, very grateful when it comes to these kind of stuff because it took away the most simple life pleasures that we have, going for a walk with our loved ones and visiting, family or visiting friends. That all has been taken away. So ever since then, I started living, like nothing is for granted, just enjoy everything to the max. um so ever since I started doing that, I started actually enjoying what I'm doing and started enjoying training. I started enjoying the journey that I'm taking. I have been, the happiest I've ever been.
Okay. And do you also do you follow a specific diet or anything, or?
Honestly, uh, that's another thing too, when it comes to my life, because when I was growing up, I was like, as I told you, I was like bullied and stuff. So I was my whole life, it was like a roller coaster of like fit, being really, really extremely fit, and then getting fat again, and then fit, and then fat. So I had a really messed up relationship with food. I'm because I'm an emotional eater and stuff like that. And I figured this time, for the only time I remember, this is the only time in my life for the past year that I've looked like really good for a consistent period of time, because I actually don't do diets anymore, or don't like really follow something specific, because it's not very sustainable when you like diet 3 months or whatever, and then you eat whatever you want, and then go back. And so I try to live a healthy lifestyle. um for the majority of the time I would eat really good, but if I'm craving an ice cream, I'll go have an ice cream, and that's it. I'm not gonna just I'm not gonna starve myself and restrict myself to the point that I don't do anything, but at the same time, I don't open up wide and just eat everything. There's always moderation in everything, including moderation too.
Yeah, like I mean, I know there's some diets out there that's so restrictive, like keto. If you can't sit down and watch a movie on a Friday night and have a slice of pizza, I mean, what's that? Don't that doesn't sound like any good eating habits to
Yeah.
me.
Like my brother is doing keto, it was working for him, but is it sustainable? I don't think so, because he comes out of it and he gains a little bit of weight and stuff. I did keto for a bit. I think all and every diet in the book that I did keto. I did steak and eggs. I used to eat just steak and eggs for breakfast and for supper, for like weeks on end. Just that's all I eat. I used to eat like plant-based. I used to eat vegan, vegetarian. Like I tried most of the stuff, pescatarian. And as I told you, the thing that moderation in everything, moderation in the diet and the lifestyle, and just not following something that's so rigid and strict that you can actually like enjoy your life and go out and have fun, but at the same time watch what you eat. So it's just a balance, as everything should be. And instead of wanting to lose weight, because last year this time I was obese. I was actually around 230 or 240. I was like, and BMI was like over 30, so I was considered obese. Um, but I told myself I'm not gonna lose all that weight in 3 months that I usually do. We just restrict myself and lose everything quickly. I told myself I'm gonna like stretch the time, so I'm gonna take my time. I'm gonna enjoy the journey. So I took my time, and I give my body enough time to readjust. And thank God I've been feeling great. I've been feeling amazing. I've been feeling the strongest I've ever felt.
Yeah, I cut out meat a bit because I was getting tested for a thing called hemochromatosis, which was high iron, and I
Mm.
wasn't sure why my iron was high. The doctor thought I drank a lot, but I don't. I mean, I may have a beer every. I don't even know the last time I even had one beer. It could be 4 or 5 months ago. I hardly ever drink anymore, but my iron was really high. But then I got some more blood work done. They think I'm a carrier for the hemochromatosis. I don't have the full thing, but I'm still cutting down the red meat just in case because if it gets really high, the high iron's not good for you.
That's not good for you. Yeah. For honestly, when I stop working out as much, and when I stop like lifting as much and like training as much and all that stuff, when I retire from like all that stuff, I think I will either go plant-based, or I'll go definitely plant-based, whole food plant-based, because I think uh, that's the most optimal diet, for especially for people who are older and stuff, because I don't know, especially the meat nowadays, it's not really good meat. It's full with hormones and and a lot of antibiotics and stuff. I don't think it's good for you anyway. But unfortunately, that's all we could afford now. If I could afford to eat free wild hunt stuff, like I would, but it's pretty expensive, and we can't I can't get my hands on it here in Newfoundland anyway. So
Yeah, well,
um, but
I noticed when I went to Ecuador for 2 weeks and I came back here and I could taste the food, how bad it was compared to Ecuador. Ecuador food
different.
was way cheaper
Mm.
and 100 times better. Like, oh my God, it
It's
was
way
just
better, yeah.
amazing.
Unfortunately, yeah, unfortunately, I think because of major reason, I would say the climate here of Newfoundland, like the vegetables and the fruits and stuff, like back home in Egypt, like every season we'll have a lot of vegetables, different varieties and different colors and stuff, So,
Yeah,
but
so
we gotta do with what we have, We can't just we just try to do our best, with what available options that we have, right?
okay. So is there any books you read, like any self-help books, podcasts, anything like that you listen to
Uh,
better yourself, or
Honestly, yeah, I do read, but I'm guilty of not reading enough because I'm a visual person. I like to see stuff, like I see like I watch a lot of videos and stuff, and that's how I get most of my education and stuff like that. But if there's two books that I would recommend for myself or for any other person, I would say there's one called How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And that was really, really nice and actually opened my eyes on how to communicate. And it taught me, in a sense, how to sell the idea that you have and how to talk to people and how to win their trust and make them, like you and connect with you and vibe with you. And there's another one that actually one of my best friends, Mustafa, he recommended to me. It's called The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. It's pretty, really, really nice and profound experience after you finish that book. I felt really connected, and every time I get stressed out or anxious or anything like that, I remember, now this moment is all we have and all we ever had. So, like try same thing, come to the breathing and just think about now and take it one day at a time. So I'm very grateful and happy, as I told you, to do those things, and I'm very grateful and happy for my mindset, because I find mindset is the most one of the most important things, to have. If you have good mindset, if you have good uh, if you have goals and stuff, I think that's what a lot of people unfortunately lacking nowadays. Like they don't have a goal, passion. They don't have something to wake up to in the morning.
yeah? And just I just wanted to say your English is really really good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, I
Like,
thank you so much. I've lived here for 4 years, but before that, I was always watching Hollywood movies because it was big back home and like the songs and stuff like that. I always like English was my favorite subject in school. Actually, like I always used to ace the exams and stuff. I actually always loved it. So, and not only English, I've always loved languages in general. So throughout my whole 25 years, I've learned a little bit of Russian, a little bit of Hebrew, Turkish, German, French. So I'm really I'm really into languages, and I love learning more about languages and stuff like that. So, but English definitely was my favorite subject back home in school, and yeah, I'm very grateful that I picked it up, and here I am now using it. So it worked in my favor.
awesome, awesome. So now, do you have anything else you'd like to add to the discussion today, or
Um, Not really. It's just like I would just love to wish people to be kind with themselves and love themselves a little bit, and just understand, discipline, all that stuff is really good and fine. But if you do it out of anger, if you do it to prove something to someone else, or I just want people to be kind with themselves and love themselves, and be nicer the way you talk to yourself, in the mirror. because I was like that, I was very harsh on myself. I'm a perfectionist myself, and I'm always very hard on myself. And well, that's one of the reasons I would, get on that roller coaster of emotions, because I would be really hard on myself. So if I have one advice to tell someone, is just, love yourself and watch how you speak to yourself, and say good stuff and positive stuff about yourself. And that automatically will make you feel better, and will make the journey that you're taking way easier, because we're actually doing it out of love and service for ourselves. And when we serve ourselves and when we love ourselves, we'll be able to love others and service others, right? It's like you can't pour from an empty cup. So you have to fill your own cup first. You have to love yourself, and then you can go love other people.
Oh, well, I've been really hard on myself in the past, and I've overthought a lot of things. So now I realize I'm only human, and everyone makes mistakes, and things. A lot of people think badly of themselves from time to time, but I'm trying to surround myself, like you said, with people that are not toxic and
Yeah,
just
100%.
good, wholesome people. And but thank you so much for doing this today, Hady.
Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it, and thank you for the company. I means a lot, and I think this is my first time doing a podcast. I did a documentary before with my friend, but this is the first time I think doing a podcast. And thank you so much for the opportunity, and thank you so much for reaching out. I really appreciate it.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Have a
Anyway,
great
I wish
day.
you have a good day. You too. Thank you.
Some will try to stop you, but you keep stepping up, you keep stepping up, you keep trying, 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 trying.